in my weekly walk while Juliet does gymnastics. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining me. Whoever is joining me, I appreciate it. I was walking and thinking, I still have another video. I need to send out an email about pranayama, a breathing technique, which I do. And maybe I've included it in this email that has this video link as well. I don't really know. But I started to think, I started to write that email, and I'm like, it's not really what I'm feeling. Like, I do want to share it, but I don't want to talk about pranayama. I want to talk about the many facets of life, the many facets of being that I have to remind myself exist, and take off any pressure that I have placed upon myself to be a certain way. I know that's very broad. So like, I have PMS right now. I'm also in perimenopause. So that hormonally brings about, for me, variations of moods and feelings, and with it, its own challenges of the practice of being patient and kind and loving. And so the facets of life, kind of like, obviously, the people in my life expect me to be patient, kind, and loving. Definitely does not always work out, but I'm aware of it. And then on the flip side of that, like, the facet being, for me, I guess, would be for the people that I share my life with to have as much sort of understanding as they can about what I'm going through, and vice versa, right? The many facets of their lives, and then the way that we interact together. Me have understanding about what it is that they're going through, so that way I can practice patience and kindness and love and acceptance, right? Like accepting them for who they are in each moment, and some spaciousness around that. Isn't that just called communication? What the heck? Why are we so bad at communicating? It's such a foreign concept to us humans. But like, if we knew how to communicate, life would actually, I think, be peaceful. Like all of existence. But anyway, that's too broad again. So if you think about the facets of your life, are there areas of your life that you would like other people to understand and have more acceptance and have more patience and have more kindness of you? Would that help to make your life easier and more harmonious? Less stress. I feel like when there's more stress, and say I'm dealing with the hormone shifts, then it amplifies that. Sometimes it's hard to verbalize exactly what I'm feeling. It might take me however long, maybe a whole day before I realize, that this is what's happening. I think there's a shift in my hormones, and it feels like it's hard for me to control my emotions, and things sort of frustrate me more than they usually would. It's like overstimulation, and the nervous system needs to be regulated. So practices obviously become very important during those times, which is also, the many facets of life for me with 3 kids and running a business and different ventures that my husband and I are delving into together. Balance and equanimity sometimes is a little bit elusive, right? To carve out time for practices. And sometimes even when I do, which I mostly do, I have some practice every single day. It doesn't always necessarily make me feel better. I just know it's important for me to have continuity of practice, and I'm sure in the grand scheme of things, it is helping me to not be a total bitch. And maybe that's what we're meant to be. This is my other conflict. The facets of life is like, as women, like, we are a little bit wild. And I think we're meant to be wild. You know, we're creative and we are, I don't even mean artistic, but just like the way that we think oftentimes. We multitask all the time, whether we like it or not. And yet we have conformed to sort of being in this way that we're supposed to be, right? And how much of that feels like it's going against the grain of who we really are. And that's society. I mean, I'm bringing up all these things that we can't necessarily change because now we've created this society that expects us to do or to be a certain way. And I mean, that's like our livelihood, right? Because we think we have to live a certain way, right? The many facets of life, ourselves, the many facets of ourselves, the many facets of the people that we share our lives with, and beings such as our pets. Like this morning, and this is pretty common, morning and then at night when I sit down and relax for the day. It never fails that my dog is very verbal. She's an old English bulldog, very verbal. She will sit there and look at me and make all kinds of noises. Like, some of you have heard her in some of my videos, or those of you that have met her. And I check her water, check her food, I pet her, I play with her, I let her out. You know, I sit with her. And she just, it's like she's telling me about her day. I don't know, but it's super annoying because I'm like, can it just be quiet? And then the cat, of course, needs something. And then there's, you know, whatever. There's just a lot of disruptions. So at that point in my day, I do laugh often. But I do think that it also contributes to sort of that continuous little overwhelm of stimulation, right? That's the needs of other beings. And, you know, when I'm trying to take 1 hour to just chill out. Can you guys relate to anything that I'm saying, or am I just all over the place? I could just be all over the place. It's okay. I accept that part of myself. So the facets of our lives, you know, we are unique individuals with different facets. And we, you know, so many of us are working on understanding who we really are and living from that place of who we really are, you know. And then, God, I feel like we haven't even really touched the tip of the iceberg with accepting others for who they really are. I mean, to a degree, but the expectations that maybe we have of others, that I know that I have of others, even though I don't want to have them, But like combined with what I think I need. Wow. How do you even pick apart this conversation? Right? Like to live in harmony. So I just came off of the women's retreat. Easy peasy. Right? I'm with a group of like-minded people that are excited to share in this experience together and that are completely willing to work harmoniously to make the house run well. And then we do these awesome things together and we get to just focus on that for 2.5 days. Like, that's grand. That's pretty easy to get along and to keep in check with ourselves, if we are feeling certain ways, frustrated or aggravated or sad or whatever, we can tend to that because there's space for it. But as it relates to a regular environment, where is the space for tending? Not just a practice once or twice a day, but that's mindfulness, right? I'm like working my own shit out right now. That's what mindfulness is, to pause, take a deep breath, be present to each moment. Notice in my body where I'm feeling like there's tension or aggravation or irritation or stress, and breathing into that space. Allowing it to untie a little bit, the binding, right? Like loosen up about the way that I define things. So applying these things into every facet of our lives, applying these practices into every facet of our lives, where we're able to create that space. Yeah, like I'm feeling my nervous system calming down as I'm talking about this, because I'm remembering that's the falling back to sleep. We wake up, we fall back to sleep. We wake up, we fall back to sleep. So waking up again to mindfulness, spaciousness. Nothing needs to happen instantaneously. Gentleness with self, gentleness with others, allowing people to be who they are. Nonviolent communication and action, and letting things be. I think like letting go of that control. The spaciousness really is where it's at. To take a deep breath, even if it means I'm gonna be late, even if it means I can't continue the thought I was having about planning something at the studio or planning something with my family or planning dinner. It's that future stuff that causes that sort of anxiety around not being able to complete my thoughts, or to have things be exactly as I need them to be, so I can feel calm and peaceful. Because guess what? I think I said this last week or some other time, like, if all that wasn't going on, that would basically mean that I was alone, which is great sometimes. But I choose and want to share my life with people that I love. So in that desire and in that unfolding that's happening, I have to accept things as they are. I would really love to hear your thoughts. And you can tell me if I'm all over the place or if you're feeling any of what I'm saying. and to elaborate, bring some insight into the conversation, and we can continue the conversation. Namaste.